Welcome to Describe in One Word. I'm Daniela, and last week my boyfriend and I went to Montreal, Canada, and stopped into CandyLabs, which is my inspiration for this week's Pokeball cookie tutorial. The store is amazing, and owners Lynn and May were literally so sweet and welcoming. We were there for, I kid you not, around 2 hours. You may have seen their viral video where they made panda candy. They unfortunately weren't making the pandas the day we went, but they were making a custom order for a wedding. Whoever K and S are, thank you, as we actually got to try your candy first, and I can tell you it tastes fantastic. We also came on a perfect day, as it was a new hire's first day and they were making his first candy. Lynn and May were of course teaching him how to make the candy, so we got to hear all of the ins and outs. The main rule I learned is always keep the candy moving. Otherwise, it won't keep its shape, and they pride themselves in making every candy perfect. Other than that, the summary is they make the candy piece by piece, forming each letter as different combinations of colors and shapes. It's like a huge edible puzzle. Once the letters and heart in the middle are formed, they wrap it all in one solid color and roll it into a cylinder to then be stretched out, cut into manageable rods, and then cut into bite-sized candies. I was in complete awe at how fast everyone moved and how gorgeous all of the candies were. They even make a Pokeball candy, which I posted on my Instagram last week. And as you know from my previous tutorials, I love me some Pokeball anything. I of course had to buy the Pokeball candies, and my weight in a variety of their other candies, and then proceeded to make some Pokeball log cookies in a similar style in which they make their candy. So without further ado, here's how to make some Pokeball sugar cookies. I'll post all of the details and measurements for the recipe I used in the description, but sift together the flour, baking powder, and salt and set it aside. I like to give it an extra mix to make sure it's all combined. Then in a standing mixer or using egg beaters, beat 2 sticks of butter with the sugar for a couple minutes until it's light and fluffy. Then add 2 eggs, one at a time, until each is fully incorporated. For this, I like to start at a lower setting so I don't fling egg everywhere. Then mix in the vanilla. I didn't show this throughout the whole video, but I do recommend to frequently scrape down the sides of the bowl so that it's all mixed evenly. Lastly, gradually add in the flour until it's just incorporated. Mixing too much will make a stiff cookie and you don't want that. Clean off and flour a work surface to prevent the dough from sticking and break your dough into 3 pieces. 1 large section, a slightly smaller one, and then a much smaller one. I know I'm very specific here. Either way, wrap the largest in plastic and place it into the fridge. The next largest is going to be your red dough, so add in red food coloring and knead it until it's the color you'd like. Then wrap it in plastic and place that one in the fridge as well. Dye the smallest ball of dough black, and as you know, place that one in the fridge to harden too. Once they've completely cooled, break off a piece of the plain dough and roll it into a log. Then, break off a piece of the black dough and form it into a rectangle so that it just fits around the white log. I just did this part by trial and error, but you could be a little more methodical about it. And after I did this, I stepped away for just 1 second and my puppy managed to get onto the counter. You'll see more of him in next week's video, but for now, I had to re-sanitize my area. Back to the cookies. Once you have the right size, similar to how they do in CandyLabs, use water as glue to stick pieces together, rolling the black around the white. Measure the circumference and length of the log, and then wrap it in plastic, and into the fridge it goes. Next, you'll want to form identical rectangles out of the red and white dough, making sure it's the same length as the log you just made. Then make 2 skinnier rectangles out of the black, as these will be the black stripe around the ball. Again, attach the pieces with water, with black in between the 2 colors, and make sure it's slightly larger than the length of the circumference of the black log. Then, put it in the fridge. Once hardened, roll it out a bit so it connects all of the pieces and makes it wide enough so that you can roll it around the log. Be careful with this part and use your fingers to connect the ends. Then roll it out and your log is complete. All that's left to do is to cut your cookies to the size you'd like. I do recommend reshaping them a bit or cooling the log again before cutting so they don't lose their shape. Either way, depending on the size of the cookie, they'll bake for 10 to 30 minutes. Set them to cool and enjoy your CandyLabs-inspired Pokeball sugar cookies. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. I post a new one every Friday or Saturday, and occasionally one randomly midweek. And if you're ever in Montreal, be sure to stop into CandyLabs. And if you're not ready to go just yet, click on the videos to watch my previous DIYs.